Anyway, here's Trump. We move on to Trump now. This is on Fox and Friends, and he's talking about the Brussels attack. Ainsley Earhart, the new info babe, anchorette there, says, if you do become president and we're in a situation like this, what would you do to protect America?
I would close up our borders to people until we figure out what is going on. Look at Brussels. Look at Paris. Look at so many cities that were great cities. Paris is no longer the beautiful city of lights. All you have to do is speak to the people that live there. And you look at other places where the same thing has happened, and they're in fear. They're cities in fear. And we have to be smart in the United States. We are allowing thousands and thousands of people to come into our country, and we don't even know where they come from and who they are. I'm not going to allow them to come in. They're not assimilating into society, and there's something different. And we have to be very, very careful, and we have to be very vigilant.
Brian Kilmeade, co-host, said, what is your message to the Muslim community?
It's not to them. My message to us is we better get smart, and we better get smart fast. My message to them is they have to be more...
Stop the tape. Stop this. Cue that. Now, I know I'm going to be savaged here, but this is exactly right. And it means no more than that. But see, even the question bothers me. What would you say to the Muslims? We didn't do anything here. Why do we have to explain ourselves? This is like Mrs. Clinton going out there and saying, we must maintain our values. What in the hell are these people talking about? The Politico headline today, why do they hate us so much? And this idea here that what would you say? What would you say? And Mrs. Clinton out there, you better not be thinking what you're thinking. We can't go to war with a whole religion. From the architect of Benghazi to the incompetence of the State Department that she ran for all those years. And the answer that no, Kilmeade can ask what he wants. He can ask what he, but the answer is Trump. This is not. I'm not talking to Muslim people. What do you mean? What are you asking me? What's our message to the Muslim people? It's right because we're so focused on the wrong things, Miss Guy. Anyway, here's Trump's answer to the question.
It's not to them. My message to us is we better get smart, and we better get smart fast. My message to them is they have to be more open with the police. They have to become part of the community. Then it's going to get worse and worse. In my opinion, this is just the beginning. It will get worse and worse because we are lax and we are foolish. We are foolish. We can't allow these people, at this point, we cannot allow these people to come in.
Right now, again, folks, in case nobody's noticing, let me point out to you where ISIS hit today. This is not Syria. This is not Iraq. This is not the Kurds. This isn't Libya. They hit the heart of the European Union. They hit the subway, the airport, the feeder lines right into the European Union, NATO, and they blew it right. They are moving west. They are moving to Europe. There are going to be more attacks in Europe, and if they can pull them off, there are going to be attacks here. And after every attack, we're going to get somebody like Mrs. Clinton going out saying, we must respond within our values. We can't go to war with an entire religion. We must recruit Muslims to help us in this important fight. Blah, 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 blah. And fine and dandy, it sounds wonderful, except she's been saying it since 9/11. There isn't any evidence the people in charge have the slightest idea what to do about this. Now, we have to allow for the fact that some smart people obviously have stopped attacks we don't know about in this country and elsewhere. They can't brag about that to give away techniques. But in places not prepared and where they don't nearly the kind of intel abilities and so forth that we have, ISIS has a free reign. Paris. And now this attack happens 4 days after the ringleader of the Paris attack is arrested. And by the way, you want to know something else? This is fascinating, folks. Everybody said, gee, why weren't we able to decrypt their messages? Why weren't we able to listen to their phone calls? Why weren't we able to crack their email? They didn't use smartphones. They didn't use computers. You know what they used? burners. They had crates and crates of burner phones. Use them once, throw them away. There was nothing to decrypt. So all this talk about back doors and getting into phones and finding out what these clowns are doing, they're not using iPhones or Galaxy S7s or whatever they are to chat with each other. They're using burners and other techniques. There's no way to track a burner. You don't even know the number of the burner unless you go to the place where it was sold. They're buying them in bulk. So you go out and buy a crate, say, of 48 burners, spread them around, start using the phone. You don't know who's got what phone where, if you're any kind of intel. That's why you need human intelligence on the ground, infiltrators, informants, and this kind of thing. But the Europeans, they haven't been capable of anything like that in years. Outside of the UK, maybe decades. So it's not that. It's not that the NSA failed to notice the chatter. It's not that the FBI or whoever else, Interpol, wasn't able to intercept. There was nothing to intercept. They've gone way beyond that. They've gone backwards, in fact, with burner phones. Well, it's not backwards. It's just they're not smartphones. You know what a burner is, right? It's prepaid. You go to the store, the number's already assigned for X number of minutes, you use it, and you throw it away.